All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's Breakout Watchlist. In this video, I'll be covering the 10 stock setups that I like best going into the week. These are the 10 stocks that we'll be covering today. I'll cover their group strength, fund ownership, and technical setups. If you enjoyed the video, please do me a huge favor and just take 1 second to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And quick disclaimer before we start. Anything that I say is not stock or financial advice. This is all for educational purposes only. These are the stocks that I'm looking at. Doesn't mean that you need to trade them. Please do your own due diligence. With that said, let's get into the charts starting now. First, we'll start with AFRM. This has a group strength rating of B+. It's the 64th strongest group out of 197, according to MarketSmith. Within that group, it is the strongest stock on a relative strength basis and the 8th strongest on a composite basis. It's got its own personal relative strength rating of 98 and an accumulation distribution rating of an A+, which is very strong. Taking a look at earnings, we don't have any positive earnings to go off of just yet. You can see the after-tax profit margins still declining, but sales, on the other hand, plus 98, plus 57, plus 67, and plus 71. So the last 3 quarters, we have acceleration year over year. Taking a look at fund ownership, that went from 299, and then as this dipped, funds left, went to 252, and now with the Amazon news with strong earnings, it's gone back up to 290. Taking a look at the chart, it has this nice cup, pulled back, and then broke out. Since then, we've been riding that 8-day exponential moving average relatively well. I think this is the past 10 trading days. Yeah, 10 trading days. Just respecting that 8-day, hasn't closed well below that. Maybe the 10-day works better. Short-term moving average, that's all you need to know. With this, I started a position on Friday as we broke over Thursday's high. Got out a little bit, consolidated, not doing anything wrong, but you can see volume starting to tighten up as it trades sideways. I'll be looking to maybe add a little bit to my position, or for you guys starting a new position with a break over Thursday's high, 162.82. One thing to note on this, earnings is in 10 days, so maybe for you, that's a little bit too close to trade into earnings. For me, that's fine, but if I don't have a profit of 10% or more going into earnings, I will take that position off. So this is AFRM. Next, we have Coinbase, and the cryptocurrency theme is going to be a theme on 3 of the stocks that we'll cover today, COIN, MARA, and SI. So with Coinbase, it's got a group strength rating of A, accumulation rating of A-, and an overall composite rating of 98. The group that it's in, computer software financial, I guess you could call it that, I would just call it crypto, is the 26th out of 197 groups. Within that group, it is 8th strongest on a relative strength, because you can see we're just starting to come up the right side of the base here, so we've got a relative strength rating of 67, but an overall composite rating of number 1, so strongest in the group. Taking a look at earnings, we have plus 928, plus 743, over 1,000, and over 1,000. You'd like to see that 999 number on MarketSmith. Sales, plus 99, plus 495, plus 845, and then plus 1,000. So you have acceleration of sales. And then after-tax profit margins, plus 26, 30, 43, and 72. Taking a look at fund ownership, this went from 0, 392, and then in September, 379. This is before these giant volume bars as we climb the right side of the base, though. So my guess is once we get December's numbers, that's going to be very extended. Going to the chart here, you can see the volume coming in as we climb the right side of the base. I put my first position on with just a break over this day's high. Pulled back, and I added to the position right at the start here, and now we're consolidating again. I really like Friday's inside candle. We were in the upper half of Thursday's candle, so not much disagreement about the price after it bounced. Ideally, we get a couple days where it trades sideways and then takes out the high, or maybe we can use a downtrend line to get in. But for now, looking at a break over Thursday's high, 327.72 as a possible buy or add spot for Coinbase, COIN. Next, we have CrowdStrike, CRWD. It's got a A+ group strength rating, computer software and security, which is the 8th strongest group out of 197 right now. Within that group, it's 10th strongest on a relative strength basis, has a relative strength rating of 91 itself, and third strongest stock on a composite basis. Got a composite rating of 96, an accumulation distribution a little bit on the low end with a B- there. Taking a look at earnings, we have plus 214, plus 750, plus 400, plus 267. 4 quarters year over year, over 100%, very strong there. Let's see, sales 86, 74, 70, 70, and then after-tax profit margin 8, 12, 8, and 8. Taking a look at fund ownership, that has been steadily increasing, 204 in December of 2019 to 1618 in September of 2021. Zooming out on this chart, you can see the nice, strong, long-term uptrend. You got the 200-day, the 50, the 20, and now the 8, all in the right order. This had a monster 2020, then started to consolidate February to June, and we're still kind of just working our way a little bit higher. And you might see this and be like, that doesn't look like a chart that Nick would trade. What I really like about this is we had a false breakout on Tuesday, pulled back on Wednesday, then shook out under the 8-day, shook out the lows in this area on Thursday, but then bounced, reclaimed the 8-day, and then just nice quiet day on Friday, setting up the trade. So with this, I'll be looking for a break over Friday's high, 284.50 as a potential buy point for CrowdStrike. We get to our next crypto-themed stock, MARA. It's got an A- group strength, finance, investment management. See, this is in a different group. Within that group, it's number 1 on a relative strength basis. It's got the 99 relative strength rating and 39 on a composite basis. Taking a look at earnings, we were negative the first 2 quarters of the year, and in the most recent quarter in June, sales up 163, 843, over 1,000, over 1,000. That's really what the metric that I'm looking at. Not profitable yet, but with sales like this in the theme and the relative strength, that's what I'm really looking at. Fund ownership on this has been exploding higher, 7 funds in December of 2019 to 255 in this September. This chart looks very similar to Coinbase, but I actually like it a little bit more just because it is right near all-time highs now. Got out with similar high volume up the right side of the base after this based out since April. Nice base since April. Now we're consolidating, still right around that 8-day exponential moving average. Now we're building a volume shelf here of support. A couple places to look, just a downtrend line, which might actually line up with Friday's high. If this consolidates on Monday, then comes through on Tuesday, we would have a break over Friday's high and this downtrend line, a confluence of indicators, 2 different systems buying right around the same price. So I would be looking for a break over Friday's high, 52.75, especially if we can get that consolidation day on Monday before taking a look higher for MARA. Next we have MDB. This has got a group strength rating of A+. It's in computer software and databases, which is the 14th out of 197 groups. Within that group, it's 3rd strongest on a relative strength basis and 9th on a composite. It's got a 95 relative strength rating, but a little bit weaker 78 composite rating. Accumulation distribution, a B there. Obviously, you would like that to be a little bit higher. Earnings, not there yet. Sales, plus 38, plus 38, plus 39, plus 44. After-tax profit margin still needs to work on it there. Going to fund ownership, we have, last September, 833, this September, 1099, and a steady increase there. So big money is flowing into this stock. This had a power earnings gap, last earnings, and I tried to trade this a couple times, but it looks like we're finally starting to come out the right side here. Kind of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. Looked like we were moving on, what day was that, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no, Monday. On Monday, it looked like we were coming out, but then we reversed lower, took out the lows in this area, which similar to CrowdStrike, I like that. Shaking out the weaker hands, now resetting up, and then getting going on Friday. With this, I'll be looking for a break into new all-time highs, 525 as a potential buy point for MDB. Before we get to our next stock, we're halfway through. If you guys are enjoying the video, please leave a like. It helps me out tremendously, helps YouTube push this video out to other traders, trying to grow this channel as quickly as we can. And if I'm providing good information for you, just please help me out and hit the like button. Thanks. Next, we have PERI. This has got a group strength rating of B. It's in computer software and media, 77 out of 197. Within that group, it's the strongest relative strength, strongest earnings, and strongest composite. So something to really take a look at. 98 relative strength rating, A- accumulation distribution, and 95 composite rating. When you have both a composite and a relative strength rating in the 90s, that's really what catches my eye. This just had earnings. We'll get to the chart in a second here, but earnings per share, plus 41, plus 12, plus 371, and plus 90 year over year last 4 quarters. Sales up 51, 36, 82, 45, and after-tax profit margins 12, 8, 12, and 12. Taking a look at fund ownership, nice steady increasing, 28 to 76 over the last, 8 quarters? 8 quarters. Zooming out on the chart, you got the 200-day, the 50, 28, all in the right order. You have this nice base here, and then a power earnings gap on, I think that was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, on Tuesday. Got out, we pulled back in. I'm kind of kicking myself because I didn't take this trade on Friday where we undercut the lows on Thursday and then we took out the highs. So I don't have a position in this just yet, but I'm looking for a break over Friday's high as a potential buy point. If we can pull back again and tighten up for a day or two, that would improve the quality of the entry point, because then we could use a low of a day as our stop right here. You're not using the low here. That's 8%, way too risky for me at least. So if we can get a couple days where we trend down, tighten up a little bit, and then take out the high, that would improve the trade probability for me for PERI. Next we have Roblox, RBLX. I'm trying to get on the metaverse theme here a little bit. Right now it's got a D- group strength rating. It's in computer, software, and gaming, which is 170 out of 197. Within the group, it's the third strongest on a relative strength basis. It is kind of working its way up the right side of the IPO base here, so relative strength is going to be lower on the year, 67 there. Composite basis, fifth strongest in the group. Taking a look at earnings, it was negative, and then plus 928, and then minus 84, so kind of all over the place. Sales is what I'm really looking at, plus 92, plus 110, plus 140, and 127. After-tax profit margins still kind of all over the place, trying to find its footing there. Fund ownership went from 0 to 337 since it IPO'd this year in, is that February, March? So nice to see that increasing. Taking a look at the chart, this was a major focus earlier on in the year in May or so, extended 35%. It was basically the first stock that was moving around in May, but then since then kind of consolidated, made this large base. And what I really like is we took out the lows in the base. So we put in a low here, started to get going, and then stopped everyone else out that got in on that low, shook out the weak hands, and now we're getting going again. So undercutting the low in the base, something that I look at. Got out on a little bit heavier volume here, consolidated, and then if I zoom out, we could draw a downtrend line here from the highs. Where is it? Right through here. Which we got over on Friday. I bought this on Friday over a break over Thursday's high, which was 83.50. It got going, looked good, up 3% from my buy point, and then just squatted a little bit on Friday. So now a potential add spot would just be if we open lower and then take out the close on Friday, or through this range. Let's see, the high here, 85.13, potential buy point. If we open high in this upper wick and then take out the high from Friday, that's another potential buy point, but that does get a little bit extended from the 8-day, 5% there. But you would be over the volume shelf here. So a lot of different areas to attack this. If we can consolidate earlier on in the week and then take out the high, that's another trade as well. I'm just trying to get some money into names that are connected to the metaverse, because that's a theme that we see popping up with Roblox, RBLX. Next we have S, group strength, A+. It's in computer software security, which is the 8th strongest out of 197 groups. Within the group, it is the 8th strongest stock on a relative strength basis and 19th on a composite basis. You can see a relative strength rating of 92, very strong there. Very weak accumulation distribution rating. Yellow flag on that just because of the heavier volume bars as it was pulling back here. Overall composite rating 59, which is on the low end. Taking a look at earnings, we don't have any earnings to talk about. Sales is the focus, plus 103, plus 96, plus 108, plus 121. After-tax profit margins still negative, so we got to work on profitability. Fund ownership going from 88 to 214. Nice to see that increasing, even though we pulled back a little bit here. Taking a look at the chart, this was another IPO that really got going, up 58, call it 60% around June. Since then, we've pulled back, bounced, and now we're starting to consolidate a little bit. There's a lot of large upper wicks here, so there still could be some sellers. Maybe the sellers are getting exhausted, but similar to CrowdStrike, I like how we had this false breakout on Wednesday, shakeout under the lows, and then Friday was a really strong day, up 3.7% on decent volume, getting us right near that buy point again. For IPOs, I try to drill down using like a 15-minute candle or so. You can see that shakeout, nice shakeout there. And this is similar to like that base, you put it in the low, and then you shake out the low from the base. And then everyone that got shaken out and still wants a position, needs to buy it back, and there's a chance that has not happened yet. So going back over to the daily chart, potential buy point is Friday's high, 67.25, or if we can consolidate, maybe get a lower entry point later on in the week, but this is S. Next we have SI, which is the last of the cryptocurrency theme. This has got a group strength rating of B+. It's in the banks, so I don't think that's the right group, but 99 earnings per share rating, B+ accumulation distribution, and a 99 overall composite rating, 99 relative strength rating, 2 99s between those two, something to keep note of. Checking the industry, number 1 earnings, number 1 relative strength, number 1 composite rating, very strong there. Fund ownership has been increasing on this, 52 to 338 over the last 8 quarters or so. This did just have earnings. We'll cover the reaction to that in the chart in a second here, but we have plus 147, plus 139, plus 176, plus 138. So we have 4 quarters, year over year, over 100% earnings per share growth. Sales up 16, 26, 82, 123, and after-tax profit margin 34, plus 40, plus 49, and plus 45. Now looking at the chart, you have this giant base here, got out on heavy volume, and then this was consolidating into earnings, looking like it could really take off, but earnings reported, they shot down, but found buyers right at that 20-day simple moving average, and it's just been riding that up since. We had this one down day on Wednesday where we shook out the lows from Monday and Tuesday, but then next day, Thursday, shot up and then closed right at the high. Friday, I bought this on Friday as it was coming over Thursday's high, but it got out and then squatted a little bit, similar to Roblox. So with this, if we could take out Friday's high, 162, that's a potential buy point. Let's see, is there anywhere in the chart that we could find a lower risk entry point? If we open low and then take out just the last 15-minute candle, 157.66, maybe a potential buy point there. You can limit your risk, stop at the low, 2.4%. I usually go into the thinner time frame just to see where I can put a tighter stop, because a stop of 4.8%, that's not terrible, but I do try to keep my stops around 3% on trades. So this is SI. And last we have Unity Software, another metaverse themed stock, group strength A-, it's computer software design, which is the 38th out of 197 group. Within the group, it's number 1 on relative strength. It's got an 89 relative strength rating, and number 8 on a composite basis, got a 76 composite rating. No positive earnings to talk about, so focusing on sales, plus 53, plus 39, plus 41, plus 48 year over year. I did cover the 98 relative strength rating. Taking a look at fund ownership, we went from 226 last September when it IPO'd to 596 this September, so good to see fund ownership increasing for Unity. This did have a very large base, similar to a couple of the stocks that we have been covering. And a very strong second pullback here, 18%, undercut the 50-day, just one day, and then it reversed on higher volume. So buyers stepped in right around that price. We consolidated here and then had that false breakout on Tuesday, shakeout on Wednesday, inside candle on Thursday, and then a nice strong move on Friday. This is one where you could have bought it with a break over Thursday's high. I did started a position on this, looking to add because I didn't get a full position, so I'm going to be looking for a break over the high from Tuesday, 151.99, call it 152. Similar, if we can just trade sideways or down for the first half of the week and then take out the high in the second half of the week, that improves the trade setup for Unity. All right, that's going to be the breakout watch list of the week. We just covered 10 stocks that have breakout potential in the upcoming week. If you are taking any of those stocks away and putting them on your watch list, do me a favor and leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday night for the live stream. Take care and have a great week.